Alright, yoga on my way. Welcome to Around the MLS with Sam right here on Africa Sports Network. I hope you're having fun this weekend, and this should be the last weekend of March, and it's going to be an April Fool games in both East and Western Conference. And we might be ready to see some April Fool results. Don't be surprised, because when you look at week 5, the kind of result week 5 produced, no one saw it coming. No one saw Columbus Crew trashing Atlanta 6-1. No one saw St. Louis City trashing Real Salt Lake by 4-0, shutting them out in a whole 90 minutes. An expansion team, setting a new record in the Major League Soccer. So no one saw that coming. So week 6 might produce a lot of April Fool results. Are you ready for that? Follow me on Instagram or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and also like my profile on Facebook. Help us grow what we're doing right here, bringing you or telling MLS stories in a unique way. Let's go straight to what we have for today's edition of Around the MLS. Week 6 is upon us, so we're going to look all the matchups, the major ones, the ones that may catch attention of MLS lovers across both East and the Western Conference. And I sure know that this game between St. Louis City and Minnesota is catching my own attention, because when you look at St. Louis, 5 wins out of 5, 15 points from 5 games, 100% victory for St. Louis, an expansion team, 4th year in the league, and what they are doing right now, got everyone talking. But one thing you should know, that Minnesota United, even though won 2 games, and those 2 games they won have all been on the road. So do you think St. Louis should be worried about Minnesota's ability to grind that result on the road this season? So now St. Louis are back at home again against FC Minnesota. Drew only 1 time and they've lost once in their last 4 meetings against MLS newcomers. St. Louis are still on the track of history if they can get 6 wins on the bounce in their game against FC Minnesota. So Minnesota United not lost a game this season. The Loons have won their first 2 road matches this season, like their 2 wins. They have 8 points, from 4 games. So their 2 wins have been on the road. So should St. Louis be concerned about Minnesota's ability to grind that result on the road? But now let's check into St. Louis and see how our South African brother, I'm talking about Njabulo Bloom, is doing. Njabulo Bloom transferred from Kaizer Chiefs in the PSL to the MLS this season, and it was St. Louis that brought him over to the MLS. And when they nearly become an expansion team, a midfielder. And let's look at his statistics for St. Louis City this season. Shoni Power. Alright, let's look at the statistics of Njabulo Bloom, the South African who is playing for St. Louis City in the MLS. He came from Kaizer Chiefs. Let's see his numbers he has put up since his transfer to the MLS. Njabulo Bloom, midfielder, we are jersey number 6 for St. Louis City. And this season, every time he's called upon, he gives his own fair share of contribution to the team's success. When you look at his general statistics, 3 games he has played for St. Louis City, and he has started only 1 time and 176 minutes across on these 3 games for Njabulo Bloom for St. Louis City. And when you look at his passing ability, yes, as a midfielder, he is meant to pass the ball and create spaces, but he has done just that. Look at the percentage he has put up for St. Louis City. Though he's a midfielder, at least his defensive qualities is also evident in his contribution to the numbers or to the success of St. Louis. Looking at the fact that St. Louis are number 1 in the Western Conference, and 4 clearances, 6 interceptions, and 1 block. And when it comes to his tackles, when he goes into any tackle, he wins it 100%. When it comes to duels, Njabulo Bloom is averaging 70.6% success rate on his duel, while 50% on his area duel. Alright, let's go to his ball distribution skills. 87.5% success rate on his passes, and 64 total passes he has been able to put together across those 3 games he has played, and 56 of them were successful with average of 32.7% passes per 90 minutes, showing up there. So Njabulo Bloom has been, a little bit phenomenal for St. Louis since his arrival from Kaizer Chiefs. That was our South African brother statistics right there in the MLS. And this is still Around the MLS with Sam right here on Africa Sports Network. Across the world, welcome to Around the Major League Soccer here on Africa Sports Network.
Left back Carranza, you gotta be second ball's the wheel. Left back Carranza,
Let's check into another Nigerian player playing for St. Louis. I'm talking about 24-year-old Samuel Adeniro of St. Louis City. Let's look at the numbers he has put up. Alright, let's check in to see how Samuel Adeniro is doing with St. Louis City this season since his arrival from San Antonio Football Club, where he won the USL title this past season. Alright, then Samuel Adeniro has played only 2 games for St. Louis City this season, and only 41 minutes he has been able to record across these 2 games with 0 start, always coming in from the bench. Even though, when it comes to defensive abilities, only 1 clearance and 1 interception. What about distribution? Samuel Adeniro is averaging 46.2% success rate in his passes, and fair numbers. Whenever he's called upon, he gives his own fair share of performance for St. Louis City. That's the numbers for Samuel Adeniro of St. Louis City. This is still Around the MLS with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Around the MLS show with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. Yes, 2 Texas teams will be in action in week 6. Houston Dynamo head back on the road against San Jose Earthquake after their back-to-back home wins against Austin Football Club and against New York City Football Club. While FC Dallas will be at home against Portland Timbers. In week 5, FC Dallas lost their game on the road against LAFC. So now they will be back at Frisco, to host Portland Timbers, who played a goalless draw against LA Galaxy in week 5. So it's going to be an interesting one. But for Houston Dynamo, Dynamo and road games they've not really been best of friends. Look at their record on the road. Hasn't really been encouraging. But last season, they were able to churn out 4 wins on the road. And former coach won at San Jose. I think he did double over San Jose last season. So now we'll be expecting, or the fans might be expecting, also we'll be expecting the head coach Ben Olsen, to grab another 3 points on the road as Houston Dynamo continue, to build their momentum with that 2 back-to-back home wins this season. Dynamo have won 8 of their last 12 matches against San Jose. They've drawn only twice and they've lost only twice, including they did double, like I said earlier, over San Jose last season. The Earthquake are unbeaten in their last 4 home matches. They've won 3 and they've drawn 1, including a draw against FC Toronto last Sunday, since they lost their opening day game against the New York Red Bulls. Houston Dynamo followed up their 2-0 home win over Austin with a 1-0 home win over New York City Football Club here at the Shell Energy Stadium. So this matchup against San Jose, a lot of fans will be expecting, the team to replicate that. And expect 2 of Houston Dynamo 4 goals this season have come from penalty spot, and Amena Bassi has been able to convert those 2 penalties that Dynamo have been awarded this season. So let's see how that game will pan out between Houston Dynamo and San Jose Earthquake. Alright, let's go to the game between FC Dallas and Portland Timbers. Welcome back to the program. This is still Around the MLS with Sam on Africa Sports Network. Alright, let's go to the game between FC Dallas and Portland Timbers. FC Dallas are unbeaten in their 8th straight regular season home matchup against Portland Timbers. They've won 6 times and they've drawn twice. Portland Timbers last visit to Texas was a 2-1 win in Austin last August. So that win was just a third regular season win for Portland in 28 visits to a Texas team. So FC Dallas have a better record against Portland Timbers if you look at the insight or what we need to know about that game. So FC Dallas this season, when you look at where they are in the Western Conference, they are fifth in the Western Conference, 7 points from 5 games, average of 1.4 points per game, while Portland Timbers are ninth in the Western Conference, 4 points from 5 games, 0.8 points per game. So when you look at Dallas, getting great result, making their home a difficult place to get points. I think this might be an FC Dallas win this season against Portland Timbers. This is still Africa Sports Network, and we are still talking about MLS. A lot of fans might be asking if star striker Sebastian Ferrari may start the game against San Jose on Saturday away from home, because when you look at the last 3 games, and Sebastian Ferrari have always come from the bench. After their opening matchup against an FC Cincinnati, Sebastian Ferrari have been relegated to the bench by Ben Olsen. Against Austin Football Club, he came from the bench. Against New York City Football Club, he came from the bench. And against the Reds on the road, he also came from the bench. And Corey Beth has been starting ahead of Sebastian Ferrari. So fans might be wondering if Sebastian Ferrari may get another start against San Jose. I don't know. Or will Ben Olsen stick to the winning team that have gotten 6 points from 2 home games? It's still left for him to say. Alright, then we'll be watching that game. 9:30 Eastern is the kickoff of that game between Houston Dynamo and San Jose Earthquake. Alright, welcome back to the program. This is still Around the MLS. Sam right here on Africa Sports Network, and we're talking about Week 6 matchups in both East and Western Conference. Alright, I just finished talking about Texas teams. Let's go to the game between FC Cincinnati and Inter Miami. Yeah, Inter Miami lost to Chicago Fire in Week 5 with Kai Kamara scoring for his 10th MLS club in his career since 2006. And now Inter Miami are traveling to TQL Stadium, which is a difficult ground to pick point against FC Cincinnati. In fact, FC Cincinnati, they've made their home turf a difficult ground to pick point. And when you look at FC Cincinnati this season, they are playing fantastically well. And when you look at their second in the Eastern Conference, 11 points from 5 games, and they are scoring average of 2.2 points per game. But these are things you need to know about the game between FC Cincinnati and Inter Miami. Alright, FC Cincinnati took 4 points off Inter Miami last season, ending a 3-1 home winner before playing a 4-4 draw in Florida. FC Cincinnati has opened its season unbeaten in 5 games. They've won 3 and they've drawn 2, including winning both of its matches at TQL Stadium. FC Cincinnati has never recorded a 3 home match winning streak in their MLS club history. It might be this weekend they might record that. Alright, the Inter Miami have lost 3 straight matches after opening their season with back-to-back victories. Only 2 teams in the MLS have won: Chicago Fire 1998, including 1 breakaway shootout loss, and DC United in 2022. Alright, Brandon Vasquez of FC Cincinnati, who scored FC Cincinnati lone goal against Nashville in Week 5, has 5 goals in 6 matches against Inter Miami. Alright, that's a great record. I remember Joseph Martinez. Yes, remember Joseph Martinez. He switched from Atlanta to Inter Miami this season. He's yet to score in 4 games for Inter Miami this season. Alright, still around the MLS show with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. We're talking about all the matchups in East and Western Conference. Alright, let's head straight to that big showdown that will happen in Carson, California between LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders. Seattle Sounders are second in the Western Conference, 10 points from 5 games. And remember, Seattle are still defending champions of the CONCACAF Champions League. While LA Galaxy this season, they are still struggling to make their mark. They are 12th in the Western Conference, only 3 points from 4 games. What a poor start to their season to LA Galaxy. Regardless of the arrays of stars they have at their disposal, they are struggling in the West. Just 3 points from their last 4 games, and that should be 3 draws, I guess so, or just 1 win. 12th on the log. But when you come to what you need to know about the matchup between LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders. Alright, the Seattle Sounders, who went berserk at the Sporting Kansas City in week 5, they are unbeaten in 9 straight matchups against LA Galaxy. They've won 5 and they've drawn 4. LA Galaxy are winless in their last 4 games this season. They've drawn 3 and they've lost once. Remember Jordan Morris? Yes, Jordan Morris, the guy that scored 4 goals against Sporting Kansas City in week 5. He is the 3rd player in MLS history to score at least 4 goals in an away match on Saturday against Sporting Kansas City. That Jordan Morris and goals were all phenomenal goals, and that goal propelled Seattle to number 2 in the Western Conference. Alright, let's go to the game between Sporting Kansas and Philadelphia Union at the Subaru Park. Kickoff time is 6:39 p.m. Eastern. Will you be watching it? Apple TV MLS Season Pass will provide the coverage. Alright, Philadelphia Union are still struggling this season in the Eastern Conference, 8th on the log. When you look at how they finished last season, you'll be wondering what is going on at Philadelphia Union. 86 points from 5 games, while Sporting Kansas City are also struggling. Look at how they were hammered and battered in week 5 at the hand of Seattle Sounders. Sporting Kansas are 13th in the Western Conference, just 2 points from 5 games. What a poor start to the season for Sporting Kansas City. Yes, this will be Sporting Kansas' first visit to Philadelphia Union since September 2018, and this should be their first meeting overall since 2020. Yes. Remember, in week 5, Orlando City Football Club ended Philadelphia Union 24-game unbeaten home run with a 2-1 home defeat. So the game between Sporting Kansas and Philadelphia Union is a game between 2 strugglers in both East and Western Conference who will end their struggle between Philly Union and Sporting Kansas. This is still Around the MLS with Sam right here on Africa Sports Network. Welcome back to the program at the Dick's Sporting Goods Stadium in Denver, Colorado. Colorado Rapids will host MLS defending champions of LAFC. Yes, that will be a very, very tough matchup between both Western Conference heavyweights. Even though Colorado Rapids are struggling this season, when you look at where they are in the Western Conference, rock bottom of the conference, 2 points from 5 games, while LAFC are flying high, 3rd in the West, 10 points from 4 games. So that will be a great one. 8:39 p.m. Eastern is the kickoff of that game between Colorado Rapids and LAFC. So we're going to tell you things you need to know about that game. Alright, despite the poor form of Colorado Rapids this season, history is still on their side, because 7 of the 8 all-time meetings between The Rapids and LAFC have always won by the home team. So Colorado Rapids had a chance of picking 3 points against LAFC, but this LAFC side, why they see so it go difficult to, despite coming from behind to earn a point in Austin on Saturday. Colorado Rapids are winless in 5 games this season. LAFC are unbeaten in their first 4 games of the season. That is why they are third in the Western Conference. This is going to be a tough matchup between LAFC and then Colorado Rapids. And when I tell you the list of potential MVP, it might be too early in the season to get into that MVP conversation. But one LAFC player is in that conversation. We'll be right back after this timeout. Alright, so this is still Around the MLS show with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, and also follow me on Twitter and like my profile on Facebook. Follow me on all my digital media platforms. Alright. Alright, on this note, we come to the end of today's edition of Around the MLS show with Sam right here on Africa Sports Network. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. Like our profile on Facebook with all those links you are looking at right there on the screen. Thank you for joining us. For you that watch and for you that are going to watch and subscribe, we appreciate you. Have a lovely, lovely weekend.